My name is Ryan of the Lewis clan, and I ride to meet my destiny. The destiny to slay the man who killed my father's father.
Dude, what are you doing?
I'm going to avenge my father's father.
Ryan, we gotta do another episode of Split Screen.
But vengeance!
Stay tuned.
Oh, my good lords and ladies, and welcome to another episode of Split Screen. I am one of your goodly hosts, Sir Ryan Lewis.
And I am your other also goodly host, Shemiah Whitson. And we have our most lovely guest with us tonight, lady.
Savanita, but you can call me Alex.
So, tell us more about what the SCA is and how you joined.
So the SCA was founded 53 years ago in Berkeley, California, as the Society for Creative Anachronism. And since then, it has become a multinational group that tries to recreate the Middle Ages as they could have been. And I got started in 2012 when a friend of mine told me about an archery practice in the Shire of Cordoval, which is right here in Corvallis. And I've been playing ever since.
Nice, nice.
So we live in the Shire of Cordoval. What part does that localized area play in the larger kingdom that is this area of the United States?
So the Shire of Cordoval is in the Principality of the Summits, which is part of the Kingdom of Antir, which is a kingdom in the known world, which is a term that we use for areas of the world that have SCA presence.
Okay. And how big is the Kingdom of Antir?
Antir goes from Oregon up into Canada, and it goes further east, I want to say, into about Montana, just parts of Montana. And it was at one point the geographically largest kingdom in the known world.
Wow. So how did SCA sort of get started?
It was a barbecue in someone's backyard in Berkeley, California.
And just from there, it spawned into this like multi-state kind of.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. And so what sort of events do you participate in the SCA?
There are all kinds of events. Some of them are focused on the arts and sciences, basically the making of things, the researching of things, looking into medieval life and how to recreate it. There are some events that are more focused on the martial aspects, like archery or heavy fighting or thrown weapons or things like that. Rapier is our light weaponry.
For fencing.
For fencing. There are lots of different kinds of events, and all of them are a lot of fun.
So what eras do you guys usually recreate?
Well, basically anything pre-1600. And that can go clear back to the Minoan civilization. It can go to Rome at the height of its power. I go to Ireland in the 9th century, but it's all over the place, and you learn a lot about a lot of different cultures.
So, what about the clothes that we're wearing and the armor that we're wearing? What kind of people would be wearing these type of things?
Okay, so what you're wearing right now is a chainmail hauberk, and that would have been the property of someone very rich. It takes a lot of effort to make chainmail, and you would basically be a part of the warrior class, which is the elite warrior class.
Okay.
What I'm wearing is supposed to be something much lower down in the social totem pole. I'm supposed to be a free farmer, so I'm not an enslaved farmer, but I am wealthy enough to pay my rent of a milk cow every year and a few other things. And what Ryan is wearing is also closer to the peasantry. We've got a pretty simple tunic here, some woolen pants, and a nice warm hat.
Well, the past blue moon, we ventured forth into the brave unknown to challenge the members of the Corvallis chapter of the SCA to mighty feat of training us to engage in combat.
Firstly, we were taught the bow and arrow from Lady Sauve, before being shown how to fight with swords by Viscount Sir William Joffrey the Rogue.
Avast, perhaps we should show them how we did, Lord Ryan.
Indeed, Lord Shemiah.
What are you doing, guys?
It's like Skyrim. We're stealth pose.
We're doing archery.
No. Let's do it for real. Come on.
Dude, sweet. Can I use this one?
Not for this one. The thing with that is that kind of bow has only been around since the second half of the 20th century. And you see the wheels on it, you see these sights, all of these guys, these rubber guys, this stabilizer, those are all details that would not have been in use in the time period that we're replicating. Now, this is something that is more plausible. It's a recurve bow. It has a lot fewer gadgets on it. The recurve limbs are something that you see in period. The grip is pretty modern though, and the way this shelf is cut out, that's also very modern. So this is Sir William Joffrey the Rogue. He will be teaching these guys how to beat each other up.
Well, myself, I play the part of a mercenary who got involved with royalty. So a lot of my stuff I justify as I've picked it up off the battlefield, as I've gained in power and influence. And rather than spend more money on fancier and fancier stuff, I stay with the stuff that works and is comfortable and has a story. So you throw the shot out. If you're lucky, you get to hit the guy on the side of the head, yay. Rip it out of the head, pull it back down to your side, and back over to reset. That's the basic shot. So we've shown you both that one shot. We have two common shots that we use. There's that, and one that comes on the other side, where we throw in front of the face and around to the other side.
Here, go get some.
The next shot.
You're doing great.
There you go. There you go. Pull it through. There you go.
Did your arm hurt yet?
No. I'm just tired.
Rather than scoring, it's usually acknowledging bows is what we refer to it as. Head and body is a kill. An arm disables the arm, so we generally will drop it and put it behind our back to get it out of the way. A leg shot, you can pick up a leg and hop if you're feeling very, very bouncy. Most of us drop to our knees and fight from there.
Ryan with the Lewis clan!
And his opponent!
Lord Shemiah the Great of the Beavers!
On your honor and at my command, you may begin. Are you both ready? Lay on! Victory! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah!
You know, you win some, you lose some. or you lose 3 times.
It's all good, Ryan Brady. He's undefeated in his heart. He's a champion.
For a first day's fighting, they could have done much worse. But most importantly, they embraced it. They weren't shy. They weren't afraid. They were willing to swing at each other and have fun. And the grins on their faces show that if nothing else, I think I'm successful in that they had a great time. And at the end of the day, that's probably most important.
So what are some of your favorite weapons?
So when I'm on the battlefield, I usually use my bow. I do combat archery with blunted tips so that we don't actually hurt anyone. And that's what I like to do when I fight.
Why do you like that? Why do you like that weapon so much?
I've always liked archery.
Okay. I believe we know who is the most noblest between us two.
I think it perhaps was closer than you think. But nonetheless, let's take a quick break to settle this debate. Stay seated, and we will return shortly.
We will be right back.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
The ceremony was a blast. It was just like this surreal moment of my dreams are coming true.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said, "Oh, I apologize. She won't be taking you in as a client."
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
And sitting there in that small, cold room, I wanted to cry, just thinking, what did we bring this kid into?
We're simply asking to treat our family the same way that you would treat any family.
So we were walking to school. At the corner, we waited for the traffic light.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really want
smart,
cheese pizza,
but
like at Luigi's.
sometimes her mind
They have
wanders.
this video game there, and Kate's got the high score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
I remember saying, Laura? Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
When we finally got there,
she gave me a hug goodbye.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Since we are unsure of the bravest warrior, I think I know a way to solve this.
What's that?
Let's play the newly released medieval simulator God of War 4.
Why, yes, Shemiah, let us. God of War 4 was released in the year of our Lord 2018 by Sony Santa Monica for the PlayStation 4. It follows a lord, a god even, who on a quest populated by creatures from Norse mythology.
Well, let's get playing.
So, how acquainted are you with video games?
I play some video games, not as actively as some, but I'm acquainted.
And what is your favorite video game, would you say?
My very favorite video game is Skyrim.
Ah, so this should feel right at home for you. So right now I'm trying to beat up rocks.
Yeah, I can see that.
In order to...
You're gonna duel your axe that way.
So if someone in the SCA was wearing armor such as this, would they'd be hurt quite a bit, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, that's not legal. They don't have shoulder protection on both shoulders. They don't have elbow protection, and he doesn't have. I don't think he has any hand protection. That's a great way to break some fingers.
Try throwing the axe, yeah.
There we go. And I'm guessing there's no axe throwing in the SCA, or is there?
There is.
There is?
There is,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
In our thrown weapons, we throw axes, and also in our combat, we throw axes, especially in war situations. But they don't come back to you like that.
Oh, well.
That would be a really cool feature.
That would be really cool if you could put like a string on it and just like bring it back while you're in battle. That probably
just
is less
reeling in the
advantageous
axe.
than would be good.
How often do you see people throw axes in actual combat though? Like,
you know, I've seen it every time I've gone to a war scenario.
Really?
It's not super popular. Like, you'll see a lot more spears and swords out there, but some people keep an axe or two in their back pocket, so to speak.
So what's the setting of a war zone like? What is that? How many people are in a war, and like what kind of weapons do you usually see out there?
The largest war scenario that I've seen had a few hundred people on the field.
Oh, man.
And that was pretty great, having just so many people there fighting. There was a lot of what we call sword and board, so axe and spear, or axe and shield. That's the board. A spear's not a board. We have a lot of spears as well on the battlefield, and we've got archery. We've got those thrown axes. We're starting to see more siege weapons on the battlefield.
So tell me how does archery work in war? Like, I know if you hit somebody with a clean blow, then it counts as, you know, like a death.
Mm-hmm.
But what about archery? Where do you have to hit them in a certain spot for it to count as a death, or?
It depends on the battle. Sometimes plate armor is supposed to be proof. Plate is proof from arrows. So this that you're wearing on your shoulder here, I would not be able to hit you there in a scenario where plate is proof.
Okay.
But in most scenarios, I could hit any of your legal areas. So above the knees, above the elbows, your head, any of those. And that would be a legal blow as long as it's struck true.
Okay.
Do you prefer? Well, here let's have you play a little bit. Would you like to play a little bit? So this button right here is going to do like a light attack, and then this button on the bottom is the trigger, and that's going to do a heavy attack. And then if you hold this button right here, you can aim the axe.
Okay.
And L1 is to block.
Yeah. And then just press circle to go back. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you got to block.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Oh,
Okay.
now you can hit him.
Yeah.
Oh, press triangle to call your axe.
Oh yeah, if you press triangle, it'll call him back. There you go.
There we go.
All right.
Oh, there's more coming. You got to watch out behind you. They're right behind you. Oh.
You got it. Oh, nice. Okay, so press triangle again to recall the axe again. And then if you press X, you can dodge.
What about the techniques that they're using for this axe? Like, does this look like how you would swing in an actual SCA fight?
Not really.
I'd imagine if they were to swing like that, they would have to be just as buff as Kratos is.
Yeah, this is some pretty wild swinging. I'm not seeing a whole lot of technique here. This is pretty much made to look. Oh wait, no, that's boy.
That's boy.
We don't kill him.
I don't think there's any friendly fire.
That's good.
So when you guys are fighting, you guys do use a
Here,
technique.
I'll take it away from you.
Oh yes, we use a lot of technique, and I'm not well versed in heavy technique because that takes a lot of practice, as you guys found out.
Shemiah, how do I crouch?
Honestly, it usually should say circle to get under there. Probably look up. He's probably looking at something.
Oh yeah.
that you're probably going to have to throw your axe at? Scoot back a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, I probably do. Or maybe not. He's
Scoot
staring
back
at
just a little bit
something.
more. Like all the way back. Right there at the top.
Ooh.
So how did you, just getting a little taste of this game, how do you stack this one up to Skyrim?
It felt a lot like Skyrim, except I usually play it on a PC.
Oh, okay.
So the controls were very different.
So do you think if you were playing, I can get you out of here if you need to.
Oh, I got it. I think.
You think if you're playing this game on PC, you think it'd be a lot easier?
For me, because I'm more familiar with those controls.
Okay. So you're more of you would say you're more of a PC player?
Well, I don't own a console.
So how do you play
money.
Skyrim?
What?
PC. On PC. It's,
Yeah, on PC.
It's actually better on the PC, I would say. And so then I'm guessing you're maybe you're more used to the first person kind of viewpoint.
Yeah, I bet. But this wasn't too bad to get used to.
What's your favorite play style in Skyrim?
Surprise, I like to do a sneaky archer character. That's my favorite. Get a nice bow, some light armor, you're good to go.
So, do you know much about Norse mythology?
Others know more. I know some.
Okay. So what could you tell us about the stuff that you do know in relation to this game, maybe, or just in general?
Where do you want to start? There's a lot there. Are you having fun?
I'm struggling.
The other L2. The other L2.
Oh, there we go.
You got to hold it and release right on the marker.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So what is
nice shot.
Like a Norse creation? What's the Norse creation myth? Do you know much about that?
Oh gosh, this I knew this one at one point. I know it involves a god who was a giant who went to sleep, and then there was something about a cow and a rock, and then and then the gods were here. I'm really rusty on that one, but it's a very interesting creation myth.
So, how would a lord or a peasant like me become king of Antir?
So, in order to become king of Antir, or queen, a woman could win and decide to become queen. You would have to enter a crown tournament, and you would have to fight all the other fighters there in whatever the format was, and basically be declared victorious on the field of battle.
And what kind of is it a one-on-one fight, or is it like all of the people against each other?
I've only seen one-on-one fights.
Oh, okay, so it's more like a duel to see who becomes king.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Dang. That guy's way bigger than the guys I was fighting before.
Is this guy in Norse mythology?
No, I think this might be made up, but still, he could still hurt me, even if he's not real in the real world. Number of arrows. All right. Oh, gosh. Oh, Okay. So, in a battle, when you're doing a battle at the for the SCA, what are the different types of battles that there are besides like the big wars, or is that just the main type of battle that happens at conferences?
Well, there are different kinds of battles. You have, just straightforward field battles. You have bridge battles where you're fighting across a bridge, and so it's a sort of a choke point where only some fighters can get in. You have castle battles where some are defending the castle and some are trying to get in. And then you have different forms of keeping the fighters in the game or not. So you can have an infinite respawn where you just go back to your res point, and as soon as you've gotten there after you died, you can come back, and it's usually a timed battle. Or you can have a certain number of deaths, and then you're done for that battle. That sort of thing.
And you said that some of the bigger battles tend to happen during the summer. How do you keep all the fighters in fighting condition in a hot weather like that?
Well, we have these wonderful people called water bearers. And they come out to the field and they make sure that the fighters are provided with water and Gatorade and pickles and olives and oranges and all sorts of lovely things to restore your electrolytes and your water. And they keep us fighting.
So how long do these battles last?
They can last about half a day.
Oh my goodness.
You know, you'll have multiple scenarios in that time. Maybe a battle will be a 10-minute limit or something like that.
And
but yeah, you'll typically not fight the entire day because that armor is heavy.
Yeah.
After a couple hours.
After a whole war is fought and you find a winner, how many people are usually left standing at the end?
Well, if you've done your job right, everyone's left standing at the end, because we don't want anyone to die.
Well, so if everyone is still technically alive, how is the winner decided in a battle?
Well, we have, have you achieved the objective of that battle? Have you won the bridge? Have you depleted your enemy's forces? That sort of thing. It really depends on the scenario. And then I think it's whoever wins the most scenarios wins the war.
And you said the armor's kind of heavy. I bet you the fighters probably have to do training to keep up with the pace of this war, no?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of fighters do strength training outside of armor as well as doing their usual fights in armor, because getting used to that armor is part of the training, and knowing how to move in it and adjusting it to fit you.
So how do the royalty figure into the battles? Do they usually fight, or do they sort of overlook from a high vantage point to see what the best strategy would be?
It really depends on the royal, but I've seen a lot of royals on the field fighting, and they're usually defended by their guards.
Oh, nice.
So safe to say royals probably never die in battle?
They're one of the biggest targets.
I mean, but they have bodyguards, so to land a clean blow, you'd have to get through like 6-7 people, no?
Yeah, but you've got a couple hundred guys on your side.
I mean, my 100 versus your 100?
Yeah.
With my 7 bodyguards, I think he should be all right.
Yeah.
All right, where's Boy?
Oh, dang.
Boy?
Boy?
Boy just disappeared on you?
I don't know where Boy is. Is there boys? It seems if our time is calling, lords and ladies.
Yes, unfortunately, we must bid you a farewell. But thou must always remember, it's always better to game together.
Oh, yep, that's stuck in there.
But also, remember the microphone.
Oh.
Oh no. Well, I'm sorry, Kat. Thank you, Alex and William, for teaching us the march of the medieval.
That's not
Broken arrow.
Yeah, see, I'm not flexible enough to get my foot high enough.
Would you want me to?
Straight back. Just lean into it. Well, nope, that is.
Pull that.
Ah!
Cover.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's real good. Ready for battle.
Cat's like, yeah, I got this, guys.
It's not coming out. Bill got this.
Cat's like, no, you guys weren't pulling hard enough.
That's not going